In today's video, we're going to build this super easy raid XP farm for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. This farm will give you a ton of levels and so much loot. Check this out: totems, enchanted books, saddles, emeralds. This farm is so easy and so good, so let's get straight into the video. To get started with this raid XP farm, you're going to want to first make sure you are not near any big mountains. The reason for this is the raid mobs might spawn on the mountains instead of inside of the farm. The second thing is I'm going to build this over top of a body of water like this. However, if you want to build it over top of land, that is 100% okay too. So if you're over top of water, you're going to want to go approximately 50 blocks into the air. This number is not exact. You can go a little above, a little below, just as long as you're around there. As well, I'm going to use scaffolding while I do it, but if you want to use blocks and ladders, that is totally okay as well. Now, if you're over top of land, you are going to want to go a little bit higher, maybe a stack and a half, just to make sure that all of the mobs actually spawn inside of the farm. They don't spawn on the ground because that would get quite annoying. Either way though, once you get up to the top, what you want to do is just make yourself a nice little platform up here. Make sure this is all made out of leaves. This has to be made out of leaves, otherwise the raid mobs are going to spawn down here. Leaves are one of the only blocks in the game that no raid mobs are able to spawn on, so anytime there is an exposed block that is not in the farm, it is going to have to be covered by a leaf to make sure that they are not going to spawn on it. So once you've made yourself a little platform here, the first thing you want to do is break 2 of the blocks, and then place down 2 chests in that spot. Then go ahead and break the 4 blocks behind it, and then you want to put all 4 of your hoppers leading into that chest. Now the next thing you want to do is take 4 mud blocks and place them on top of here, and this is so any items that actually end up falling on top of the hoppers, or on top of the mud, sorry, are able to get picked up by the hoppers and go in here, so we don't have to add hopper minecarts down below. Now I'm just going to fill this in a little bit more so I don't accidentally end up falling off the edge. Of course you can make this as pretty as you want to, but I'm just making it as minimalistic as I can because this is a very easy farm to set up. Now what you want to do is take some temporary blocks and make a ring around these mud blocks, and of course we are going to be breaking these later. Now what you want to do is look right here on the left side of the chest, and you want to place a piston facing towards the mud like that. Turn and place a piston, turn and place a piston, turn and place a piston, just like that. You then want to take an observer and place it like this, so the arrow is facing into the piston, and then again do that for all 4 sides. So 1 right there, 1 right there, and 1 right there. And then you want to take your 4 redstone torches and put them on the side of these pistons. Now this is a bedrock portion of the farm. If you're in Java, this is not going to work. As well, what I do want to say is if you don't want to set up a trident killer, if you don't have a trident like this, that is 100% okay. You can just manually kill the mobs yourself. Now what you want to do is throw the lever inside of here, and mine does have impaling 5 for the best rates, but if you don't want to have that, that is totally okay. It's not going to speed up the farm that much. All you need to do is throw it down inside of there, and then grab one of your levers, put it on the piston, and then you can just turn this portion off for now. Now the next thing we're going to do is make the drop chamber for the farm, so what you want to do is put 2 temporary blocks right there, and then continue with solid blocks like that. And then you want to build this up 5 more blocks for a total of 6 high. So that's going to be 1 and 6 high. There we go. And now what you can actually do if you want to is drop down here and break all of your temporary blocks, because we are not going to need any of these anymore. Try not to break the mud block like I did though. And there we go. Something like that looks pretty good. Now to actually collect the XP in this farm, really all you need to do is take a block and place it down right there. And then take your 2 slabs and place them right there. Now, when you're using this farm, all you have to do is stand here and you will be able to collect all of the XP without dying. And then when you want to collect the drops, all you need to do is go into this chest. Now, coming back up to the top of the chamber, the first thing you're going to want to do for the spawning area is fill in all 4 of the corners. Now, I'm going to go away from the platform, so in this direction, although you can really do it however you want. What you want to do is start by building out 7 blocks off one of the corners. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you're wondering, that should be 8 blocks out to here because we did fill in that corner. And then come over to this side here and do the exact same thing. So that's 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. And now what you want to do is connect these 2 corners and then fill it in to make one big platform. Now once you've got your platform built like this, we're going to go ahead and make the walls. So the first thing you want to do is look towards your killing chamber, and on these 2 sides that are touching the killing chamber, you want to place a row of blocks on top of the blocks here. So one there and one here. And now on the two sides that are not touching the killing chamber, you're going to want to go out one block and then place a row of blocks so it's not over top of this. And this is to make sure that all of the water flows properly and then stops right before you get to the killing chamber or the drop chamber, whatever you want to call that thing. Now that you have this one high wall around, what you want to do is take it 4 more blocks tall for a total of 5 blocks tall. So now that you have this wall and you can see it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks tall, the final thing you want to do is take your leaves, and remember we have to place leaves on top of this platform just to make sure that none of the mobs are going to spawn up here. They are all going to spawn inside of the farm. This is a very important step. You can't use slabs, you can't use glass, anything like that, because raid mobs are able to spawn on top of all of those. This has to be leaf blocks. Now, once you have that, coming to the opposite side of your killing chamber, what you want to do is place down 3 blocks like that, 2 there, and then 1 there. And now what I recommend doing is making yourself just a nice little infinite water source, because for this next part we are going to need quite a few buckets of water. So the first thing you want to do is take a bucket of water and place it in the corner right there. And then take the rest of your buckets of water and place them along both of these walls that are opposite to the killing chamber. Now of course, once you're done placing all of your water, you can go ahead and remove your infinite water source. And then once I finish breaking all of these blocks, as you should see, the water is going to flow straight to here, but it's not going to flow over. If it does flow over, you're going to want to make sure that these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks long, and then 8 blocks there as well. If something is not working in the farm, if your water's not lining up or anything like that, who knows what's going on, you can download this exact world. It is the first link in the description. Now I would recommend placing down a block so the water doesn't keep pushing you, because that does get quite annoying. What you're going to want to do for this next step is take your signs and 1 block above right here. So you have this block and then go up 1. You want to place down a sign right there on either of the 2 sides. A sign there, and then you want to place a bucket of lava right in that spot, and this is going to kill the Ravagers. You then want to take 1 leaf and place it right there, and then 1 solid block and place it down right there so they don't float up and break all of the leaves. And believe it or not, this is this part of the farm done. Now the final thing we need to do is get the villager inside of his area and actually build the villager area. Now to get started with the villager portion of the farm, what you want to do is go underneath of your box right beside the drop chamber. So for me, I built to the left side, so I'm going to want to go to the left, and I'm just going to build up with some temporary blocks here and then place down 2 blocks just like that. Then what you want to do is take a bed and place it down right there. And then this step is very, very important. You want to break both of these blocks and replace them with leaf blocks. Again, making sure that no raid mobs are going to be able to spawn inside of here and kill your villager. Then what you want to do is place down 6 leaf blocks like that, or 4 depending on if you filled in the corners. And then place some down there as well. Then place 2 right there. And then break either one of these side blocks, doesn't matter, and place your workstation. This can be any workstation that you want. I'm just using a composter. And then take a torch and place it there, just to make sure that no zombies or other mobs will be able to spawn inside of here. Now the final thing we have to do for this farm is actually get a villager up into this area. The easiest way that I've found to do this is just by getting a villager inside of a boat, putting a lead on him, and then literally just climbing up to the top. It's kind of funny to watch. Then once you get up here to the top, just do your best to get your villager up here with you. There we go. And now all you have to do is break the boat very carefully so he doesn't fall off. There we go. And then once it turns nighttime, he will just walk up into the bed on his own. If you find he's not walking up on his own, what you can do is just break your workstation and your bed and then just replace all of it. And eventually that villager will be able to pathfind up to it. Again though, if you replace the bed, make sure that you do place leaf blocks underneath it again. Okay, so I actually had to punch my guy, but you know, he walked up, so there we go. Now once you get your villager inside, just go ahead, block him off. He should pick up the profession of the workstation that you placed down, and then make sure to break all of your temporary blocks, so again, no of those raid mobs are going to be able to spawn there. And believe it or not, that is the entire farm complete. Using the farm now is very simple. All you need to do is go into your game mode and make sure you are on easy, normal, or hard for the best drops. If you're not on hard, you are not going to get totems. If you're on easy mode, you're not getting totems, you're not getting loot that is as good. So make sure you are on hard mode when using this farm. and then all you have to do is drink an ominous bottle, and as you're going to see, the raid will start in about 30 seconds. Now, before the raid starts, you do want to make sure that you flick this lever to turn the Trident Killer on. You have a Trident inside, and I would also recommend holding out a Looting 3 sword. Okay, one more thing, I did just get hit through these slabs, which is very uncommon, but if you're shifting, they can actually hit you. If you want to make sure they can't, just take these slabs, replace it with a couple pieces of glass, and now you're good. Now I'm just going to go into creative mode to show you guys how this farm works, but as you can see, the raid in the top is starting, and if we were standing down there in survival mode, it would be the exact same thing. Really quickly, while this final raid is starting, I do have a seeds channel and a Java channel. The seeds channel is a showcase for a bunch of different seeds. Make sure to check that out. I'm posting weekly, and on the Java channel, I am posting daily. So if you want to check either of those out, please make sure to do that. Okay, and there you go. As you can see, the raid is now finished. And then if I hop down here where you would be AFKing, I was able to collect all of the levels. And coming into this chest, you have all of your totems, your saddles, your enchanted books, emeralds, everything good inside of this chest. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And again, you could download this exact world. It's the first link in the description. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. BlazedMC out.